This is Just Amazon on Wednesday, September 1st, 2021. Today we had a bullish retest gap. This would have been it was opening up higher, and at one point it was a strong bullish candle. Would have been the fifth in a row if we didn't run into this resistance up here. So a couple things I wanted to point out in the daily, and then we'll jump into the 5-minute here. First thing is this kind of zone here. This has been a resistance zone that we broke out of, retested, and then bounced off of. So coming up into it from below, it's still a resistance zone, or it's a resistance zone again. It was a support here with that candle, and this really looks like a double top shape that finally we got a retest. If you can call all of this, one candle pattern, then maybe. The other thing I wanted to show you is this range right here. And I actually plugged in the numbers to get it exactly because I didn't want to spend the time measuring it on the video. So the one on the left is from this day to this day. The difference there is $352.66 or points. And then the one on the right, from today's high to back to this low, the difference there is $351.24. We're within a couple dollars of these ranges. And I'm not saying that we're going to have a pullback like this right now, but it makes sense to come back into the 100. We ran right on through it. We spent a lot of time in the 100 here. If we do come back into this, I think, like I said the other day, that's a really good place to get some buying. Yesterday, we didn't quite touch the 100. I have a feeling we're going to come back into that. And I guess we really have to wait and see. I know I say that, but we'll see how it plays out. But that's the ranges, basically about 100%, of that same range that we just did, off nearly the same price. I was comparing this candle to this candle when they formed, and then this candle to this candle. I was doing the comparison. So I've been looking back at this move just about every day through here, seeing, okay, where could we be at? And I thought this candle 2 days ago, was that Monday, looked kind of like this candle here, just kind of where it was, the price it was crossing through, or maybe kind of squish these together. I mean, it's not identical, obviously. You had one bearish candle in here that could have been this one, could have been this one. It's just similar. But we did a really good job staying above the 5 here. We did a really good job staying above the 5 here. We may still be above the 5 tomorrow. I don't know where we'll be at tomorrow. After hours, we're pretty flat. So we just have to kind of wait and see. But this candle, today's daily candle, is really pretty much an inverted hammer at a resistance where we got a right side up hammer, a regular hammer bouncing off of this as support. The low on this candle is 35.29. Today's high was 35.27. We're right in, today we were right in this area that is resistance again. So it makes sense to have a bearish candle, maybe more, string one or two more together, maybe. We'll see what happens when we get back down here, if we do. I'm assuming we do, but we have to wait and see. So jumping into the 5-minute. We gapped up, put in a couple lower wicks, and then broke out. Retested into the 5, kind of rode the 5 sideways, a little bit sideways to up. Any of these lower wicks were buyable. It didn't show up in the RSI that way, but that's what was happening on the call. So the 35.50 call that I've been keeping an eye on, these lows in here were right around the $9 price. So you could have really set this up to buy at 9, stop down at 8, get out at the high, which was 12 earlier, so this was 12, this was 12. It did run back up into 12. And then in this area, which was still being resistance on this call, started to get the RSI with kind of the double top shape and a retest. So this was looking kind of like a top. We go back to here, and this candle ended up being the high of the day that ran up into that 35.27 price. And everything else from there was just kind of sideways or down. We did come back down, touch the 21, broke down through it, bounced. Uh, Looking back at this option, I really liked that. Again, looking at this in terms of, what am I seeing here that says don't get in or go take a bearish trade? We put in this kind of like stair step, which we should have broken out if that was a continuation pattern. Instead, it broke down, put in kind of a stair step here, and broke down further, retested back into that low, and started to roll again. Now it did come back up, didn't quite get back as high as the earlier high, but these were great places to be looking to get into calls. All of this was acting as resistance, just like on the 5 minute here. So all of this was acting as resistance. It was really compressing, and we had a stretch here, 30 minutes of buying that moved it up. We had a stretch here, 30 minutes of buying that went basically sideways. And I don't necessarily, maybe this candle is exhaustion volume. It doesn't seem high enough to be exhaustion volume. Excuse me, it's not like these two candles we had yesterday, but this is a little bit telling that, okay, we're getting near the end of a run, maybe not the run, maybe not the end of it, but again, today I was just seeing a lot of, hey, I think this has kind of run its course. So I was into this bearish. I was getting in up here bearish, and basically rode this down, got out right at the close for a really nice gain. I was in the 3,400 put expiring next Friday, and it held this low at 7. So it put in a low of 695. All this time, it really kept coming back to the low of $7, and was a great place to be getting in. I got in early over here. We had the same kind of double bottom shape with the retest going on over here, and it didn't actually come back down there again, not to the point that the RSI was oversold, but you had the same price all along here. Then it finally started to move over here. It started to break above kind of where the cursor is, this sort of resistance, got up above this resistance where we had the low price in the day, retested that here. It was holding above that. It ran through that, had a bigger pullback. I initially had my target set at 10 for 3 hours, took that target off as I thought, okay, this is going to continue up. Got my stop trailing, and ended up exiting. I was looking for 13, and it didn't hit it here, didn't hit it here, and then I just had to exit. So I got out at 1250. So I got out at 1250, was in at 7, and there was basically no point in time that I was losing on this trade. And that's why I just held on to it. I tightened up the stop from 6 up to 650, but I just let this thing run because I saw the potential that if this really was, daily, up here, if we're up here and we've really kind of run the course, we should have some sort of pullback, and it should move pretty quickly. And I could have been totally wrong. This could have broken out, and I was good with that. New month, starting over with 0 R's, and taking it from there. So we got this breakdown, got this breaking down, got a couple bouncing looking candles, hammerish type candles. It's like, no, these just took out this low. And then this candle came in and took out these. It's like, okay, I think we're headed to take out the low of the day. I think that's where we're going. We did that on this candle, and I fought the urge to get out because it's like this is not the run. This is not that pullback. This is just retracing what we ran up for the day. I think this has some more room. And I really was looking for just this to flush lower, and it didn't. So we'll see if it does continue lower tomorrow. We'll see if we get any more of a pullback. But this at resistance was a great place to be going bearish, or at least protecting your position if you're in long. So yeah. And then, yeah, looking at the call, the same thing. We were taking out the low here. We took out the low, the low of the call earlier with this candle, continued lower. All of this was just that confluence. So if I step back out onto the four chart view here, you can see when it all turned. And I don't know if something was going on but it happened right through here. And I think it was actually in a meeting at that time, which was fine because it was just running, and I had everything set. Um, but you can see, let's see, so you had the double top here at the same time you had, or no, was that, oh, it was double top here, and you had the double bottom shape here. And so you had the retest. The retest was a little bit off over there and a little bit off over there. So I was going off of this one. So I was in over here and just set it up to get in at 7, thinking, okay, maybe we'll put another low, flush a little bit below 6. And a whole bunch of times later, I mean, I was early. I was still early in this. So let's see, at 10:50, yeah, I was in at 7 at 10:50. It was a low of 7 here, low of 7 here, low of 7 here, low of 7. Like so many times put in a low of 7 that you could have been getting in with my same entry, 7 by 6, and just hang on for the ride, waiting for it to move. And like I said, I fought that urge to just get out. I could have gotten out for a small gain, like right through here. Could have just scalped out an R or something. Actually, what was the price there? Yeah, could have scalped out like an R here, and just said, okay, I'm out, I'm good. It's a good start with 1 R. Instead, I just held on, looking for it to continue to run, and really wanted that extra little bit up here. But anyway, still ended up with a really good start to September. So we'll keep an eye on this. We'll see which way we go. If we do, I'm trying to get back to the data. There we go. If we do come back down, if we end up gapping up, like if we do something like this day where we trade up higher and take out this high, I've got this kind of X marks the spot a couple days from now here. We didn't get back up into this upper channel over here. I was pretty sure we would get to it today. We didn't. And then I realized, oh, this is such a strong resistance zone. Maybe we won't. And like I said, about the 100, we just went through that so quick. I think we'll come back and do it, especially because we spent a lot of time through there, back in here where we were just up and down every couple days with the 100 and the 200 there too. But we'll trade through and we'll come back. In this case, we did come back to the 100. It can just take some time, so it doesn't necessarily have to happen. So here we ran on through it, came back, a week or so later. But each time is different. Each time we're interacting with the 100 and 200 simple moving averages, it looks a little different. But we've not done a great job at holding those levels and bouncing cleanly off of them. So that's why I'm thinking we'll come back and do something dancing on it again like we did through here. It won't just be as clean as, like this one. We wanted this to bounce right here with this hammer. Instead, it took it out and we had some candles not even touching the 200 below it. And then we got this rally up out of it. So anyway, hope this helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.